announced that he will double the planned tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum. And at this hour, Wall Street reacting to this breaking news. You're taking a live look right here at the Dow Jones Index, now down more than 460 points. President Trump saying that he will double his planned tariffs on steel and aluminum from 25% to 50% for Canada, saying that the increase of the tariffs are set to take effect tomorrow as a response to the price increases that the provincial government of Ontario put on electricity sold to the United States. President Trump taking to social media, sharing this post right here, saying that, quote, based on Ontario, Canada placing a 25% tariff on electricity coming into the United States, I have instructed my Secretary of Commerce to add an additional 25% tariff to 50% on all steel and aluminum coming into the United States from Canada, one of the highest tariffing nations anywhere in the world. This will go into effect tomorrow morning, March 12th. Also, Canada must immediately drop their anti-American farmer tariff of 250% to 390% on various U.S. dairy products, which has long been considered outrageous. I will shortly be declaring a national emergency on electricity within the threatened area. This will allow the U.S. to quickly do what has to be done to alleviate this abusive threat from Canada. If other egregious long-time tariffs are not likewise dropped by Canada, I will substantially increase on April 2nd the tariffs on cars coming into the U.S., which will essentially permanently shut down the automobile manufacturing business in Canada. Those cars can easily be made in the USA. Also, Canada pays very little for national security, relying on the United States for military protection. We are subsidizing Canada to the tune of more than $200 billion a year. Why? This cannot continue. The only thing that makes sense is for Canada to become our cherished 51st state. This would make all tariffs and everything else totally disappear. Canadian taxes will be very substantially reduced. They will be more secure militarily and otherwise than ever before. There would be no longer a northern border problem, and the greatest and most powerful nation in the world will be bigger, better, and stronger than ever. And Canada will be part of that. The artificial line of separation drawn many years ago will finally disappear, and we will have the safest and most beautiful nation anywhere in the world. And your brilliant anthem, O Canada, will continue to play, but now representing a great and powerful state within the greatest nation that the world has ever seen. President Trump taking to social media, sharing that lengthy statement as he has just announced that he will double the tariffs on steel and aluminum from 25% to 50% for Canada. That is set to take effect tomorrow. This after the provincial government of Ontario put an electricity tariff on electricity exported to the United States.
The S&P just slightly higher right now. The Dow down more than 100 points. The Nasdaq coming off its worst day since 2022, bouncing back somewhat, up just about 0.5%. But that certainly isn't easing the concerns about the stock market that has lost. And I want you to make sure you're hearing this number correctly. $4 trillion of market value since its all-time high less than a month ago. I'm talking on February the 19th. Citi putting out a note saying that U.S. exceptionalism, it's at least paused. It's giving you a sense of the sentiment on Wall Street. So all this action on the stock market is one thing. There's also rising concerns about the U.S. economy. Remember, the stock market and economy, they're not the same thing. But these economic worries, they're certainly fueling these stock market declines. Important to note that it's not just one thing that's impacting the stock market or the economy. It's tariff concerns that are fueling inflation concerns, that are fueling recession concerns, kind of like a snake biting its own tail. And now there's new concerns about the consumer. That's especially after Delta Airlines warned it expects profits to be lower than previously indicated because of a slowdown in both business and consumer spending and travel. And this morning, some popular retailers like Kohl's and Dick's Sporting Goods also painting a picture of a consumer slowdown. Then there's the tech trade. That tech trade has really powered the stock market over the last 2 years. It's certainly unwound in recent days. And one of our most notable personalities here on CNBC, Jim Cramer of Mad Money, he made a statement yesterday that a lot of people are paying attention to. He's saying the magnificent Magnificent Seven. That's the basket of stocks that have really powered the stock market. Those AI-focused stocks, it just doesn't exist anymore, according to Kramer. He says Tesla and NVIDIA, an AI name that's gone from obscurity to ubiquitous, they're just not magnificent anymore. That's according to him. He says they're just not magnificent. They're simply meme stocks right now. They kind of twist and turn on investor sentiment, sometimes called animal spirits. So